right, joining us now, Alamogordo Tigers head football coach AJ Cisco. Coach, last week of the season, how are you?
It is, man. I told you at the start. It flies by, doesn't it?
It always does, every single year. I had a moment earlier. I was sitting here, trying to prep for the interview, and I was like, what happened in the Las Cruces game? Because that feels like that was forever ago.
Yeah, that bye week was long. We needed that bye week, but we needed a lot earlier than the week 10.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have that a little bit earlier on in the season for sure. But you obviously have senior night coming up this week, and that's the main focus. I know that we talked about it, trying to finish strong for this group of seniors, and obviously continue to show the improvement for the juniors and sophomores. So, from the outside looking in, you go, it's 1-8 against 0-9, but for you guys, there's a lot more to that.
There is, and we've talked every day this week about it with our kids, and this senior groups was a part of 2 very successful football teams and competing in the biggest classification as the smallest school in the classification. That's a big deal, and the stuff they've gone through from when they got on campus to now, they deserve to go out as winners. Because they are winners, and they've proven that through the 4 years of high school, and that's our number one goal, is to win on Friday for those seniors and send them off the right way. And at the same time, those seniors understand that we're also trying to win on Friday to make sure we're going into 2025 in the right direction, and with the win under our belt, and kind of catapult us in the off season and having a great off season again. To get us ready to have a successful year in 2025. So I don't say there's a lot on the line, but the way we've treated it this week it's a very, very important game, and it's not just, hey, let's get this over with and move on. Like, this is a big deal. This is like trying to win a district game for us. There's a whole lot on the line as we kind of look into it, and think about what's at stake for our program.
And just having that importance to it. And something I've talked about, I feel like every athlete I've talked to with across the all sports, this is kind of the last group that's part of the COVID group, and I know we've talked about it before as well. And the challenges that those kids have had to go through, and not that the classes behind them haven't as well, but the not getting to play 8th grade football or other sports because of that. It's important to see these kids out the right way.
Yeah, and that's the whole goal. That's our number one goal, is to make sure these kids and it's one of those things that it's an emotional night, and we've already prepared our kids for it and talked to them that after we win on Friday and we shake our hands, we're going to sing the fight song, then we're immediately just going to go ring the bell, and we're going to go inside and close the doors and have our emotional goodbyes behind closed doors, and then kind of release them back out to their parents after we get done going where we need to, and just let our kids know this is going to happen. And they're high school kids, and we've all been in that teenage mentality when we're invincible and nothing's going to affect us, and these kids, it's going to affect them. And that's something that I think some of these seniors didn't get to experience last year, because we did play on a Thursday, and we kind of thought we were in the playoffs and got knocked out on a Friday night, and so we didn't have that real emotional goodbye like we did when these guys were sophomores. And so that's something that I think even our younger kids need to see, like our juniors that missed that as a sophomore year. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for these kids, man. I love our seniors. It's been a great class. From when they walked on campus to where they're at now as men and football players is night and day. And the dedication they have, not just to the football program or Alamogordo High School, to the community, to everything that goes on, they bleed black and gold through and through. And I couldn't be prouder for them, and the best thing we do is just send them off with a win.
Yeah, and, it's one of those, the limited amount of time that, you get to compete as an athlete. Some kids will be lucky enough to go on and play at college, but, the 4 years you're in high school, the couple years you're in middle school, and then, before that when you're a younger kid, it's limited time. For these kids, it doesn't feel that way, but, maybe in 10 years and 15 years, they'll look back and see.
It'll start to sink in. We talked about it yesterday morning, that was the last time our seniors are going to have to wake up early for practice. And they got that smile on them that says, oh, thank God, we're not doing that. And I said, you may smile now, but come next Monday at 6 a.m., you're going to wake up and be like, oh, it's over. Like, it's gone. And that's the unique part about football, is when it's over, it's over. There's no, like, I'm not going to go play pickup basketball. I'm not going to go play pickup baseball. Like, when football's done, football's done. And for a lot of our seniors, tomorrow night or Friday night's going to be the last night that they ever put on a helmet and shoulder pads. And that's very emotional. And with the investment that they put into our program, into this high school, it's tough to take it off. And as any coach that's ever played or anybody that's ever played, you understand that feeling of when that jersey comes off, it ain't ever coming back on. And that's tough.
Yeah, for for sure. All right, let's get to the actual game. Clovis has had a challenging season, but this is a group that is going to have the same type of mindset of they want to send their seniors out on a positive. They want to finish off their season on a positive. So again, for both teams, they're not going to pay attention to the records. Both sides really want to come out and get a win.
Absolutely, and we talked to our kids about that this week as well. I said we're saying all this, Clovis saying the same damn thing.
Yeah,
like it's the reality. I mean, they want the same thing, and they got a new coach in there. They got in there in June, so they've kind of been behind the 8 ball and trying to get everything implemented that he wants to do. They're extremely young. They're all sophomores and juniors, very similar to us, and 17 and 18 being extremely young. And they've got some talented kids. They're still they're big. It's not the Clovis teams that you've seen before and that this community's grown up playing against in the 80s and 90s. But that's a town that still lives and breathes football, and their coach is trying to get that thing back up and going again. And you can see it. They've got a running back that is big time. I mean, he's for real. And those young kids, they do young kid things. And if they figure it out, they're very dangerous. They're athletic. They're skilled. We've definitely got to play well. But it's one of those things, man. If we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be okay. And not turn the football over, which I thought we've done a really good job of the past 3 or 4 weeks. And then we got to get stops defensively and get turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's, you don't want to take too much time looking back at the little bits of the season because, you recognize how close you were in some spots. But, I mean, it's an opportunity for maybe to put together that complete game that you guys have been looking for all season
That
long.
is, and we don't sit there and harp on the what could have beens and what ifs of the earlier in the year, and we just don't look back. You can't change history, so you might as well move forward. But trying to figure out a way to get that the complete game, which we haven't played all year, and really kick us into 2025. But it's also one of those things that we also want to know that we're doing stuff right, and it's exciting to go into this when you come off a game and we play really well. If we play well on Friday like we're supposed to, kind of kick us into that offseason and get us going and get us really excited to get ready for 2025.
And, of course, last Friday night football game of the year, so encourage the community to get out and support these kids. And as you always say, everybody else that's involved with the pomp and circumstance, the process of a Friday night, whether it's cheerleaders or athletic trainers, the band, everybody, it's an opportunity to get to enjoy that one more time.
It is, and it's to recognize, and then we talked about football, but it's to recognize all the seniors that'll be recognized on Friday night. For what they've given to not just the high school, but to this community and the time they've invested into their whatever activity or extracurricular activity they're involved in. They need to be recognized by this community because that's a huge commitment. And anybody that's been involved in something, whether it was sports or an activity like band or student athletic training or cheers or the people getting honored on Friday, they understand the time commitment. I mean, football is a year-round job, and then SATs are a year-round job. Cheers going all the way till March. Like band is year round with something going on and they're out there doing 2-a-days. Like these kids invest a lot of time, and it's important that the community shows that respect and the investment back into their kids of this community, because they're the ones that are going to lead this community into the future. And that, I think we need to get a bunch of people there. I'm proud to see all these kids off. We're going to honor the football players, SATs, cheerleaders, starting at about 6:25 on Friday night. Halftime band's going to get honored, and when football goes away, it doesn't come back till August, so you've got about 9 months till you get it again. So you might as well come get your fix one last time.
All right. Well, we look forward to it again Friday night, 7 o'clock, Alamogordo versus Clovis to wrap up the season. Appreciate the time as always, Coach.
Appreciate it, man. Go Tigers.